how much did you enjoy Saturday's win?
Yeah, obviously, yeah, enjoyed it quite a bit. I think a win's always a good for us. So I think any team you play for, when you win, it's very enjoyable. But I suppose against a team like that, it's yeah, good to know that we're up with everyone else.
Yeah, 7 tries, 40 points, past what is still Super League's meanest defence. What was key to that?
Yeah, I think it was just because the way we've started this year, we've noticed that our best games are when we start the game. Our first 20 minutes are we start firing, and when we're not doing that, we're not so good. So I think the key to those points are the start to our games, because we know we've got points in us and we can play the game for 80 minutes.
And you had a late change coming in, Jack Broadbent going in alongside you at centre after Ollie Gildart got injured in the warm-up. How did you find that?
Yeah, as soon as we were sort of having like a left right sort of in the warm-up, and I noticed Ollie was limping with his knee and that, so I sort of went over to Jack and asked him if he was ready to play, and yeah, just when I asked him, the response he gave me, I knew he was ready. So yeah, sort of didn't have to worry about that. That was sort of Willie's in that job. When I noticed the way he approached the game, even though he was 18th man, yeah, I knew he was going to do a good job, and yeah, he'd certainly done that in the weekend.
Looking ahead, where do you feel that you've still got room for improvement following that victory?
I think we probably could still start our games a bit better. We gave them, well, their first 2 tries were off our errors. If we had kept them in the game, we sort of put them in the game with our errors. So I know they did a kickoff, went dead, and then they scored that set. And then we scored to try another kickoff, play the ball error, and they score. So if we could sort of just minimise that with us, or even just defend our errors, that's something we got to work on. I know we can afford to give 1 or 2, but yeah, we got to defend it. We can't let them in our try line. So I think that's one place we can improve on.
And now you've taken the scalp of both the defending champions Wigan and emphatically St Helens. How much do you feel that people are really starting to sit up and take notice of you this season?
I think there's always been that around us. Obviously, the way the team presented themselves last year, and just for me was I wanted to stay with them. Like, they obviously led away last year. They done very well for the club, and then so for me was to sort of match them, stay with them, and I feel like that's something we've been doing. And yeah, I think the more we focus on ourselves and just improve on what we can do week in, week out, I think when you start thinking about the outside noise, that sort of affects the way people sort of get their mindset into games and everything. So if we sort of just can focus on what we do week in, week out, every day, what we do at training is what we can control. So if we could just focus on that, yeah, we'll be good.
But when you look at the table and you see all top 6 level on 14 points, how much do you feel as a group of players that Super League is there for the taking for you this season?
Yeah, I was speaking to someone the other day, and it was about, like, we played Wigan played Dragons played us within 3 weeks, and they were all different score lines, and it just goes to show it's anyone's game. Long as you turn up on the day, yeah, it's whoever turns up on the day, best team wins. And yeah, that was just sort of a wake-up call, not just for me, but I think for our team is, yeah, if you turn up with the right headspace and just come with the right attitude, anyone could win the game, and that's what the table shows. And yeah, I think that's what Super League's been about. It's about growing the sport, and yeah, every team's wants to win. So I think, yeah, it's just a mindset thing at the moment.
And of course, this run of form, 7 wins from the last 8, has coincided with you going back in at centre. For the time being, because you may end up playing back there again, but why don't you feel it worked out for you at full back at the start of the season?
I think it was just sort of like a muscle memory thing. So I was just sort of overthinking things where, like, and the centres I played at the last 10 years, and we sort of spoke about that when I was there, it was just more comfortable, natural. It looked that way, and I felt that way when we were swapping in and out. And then I think when I went back to fullback, it was more of always on the ball, not wanting to let my teammates down. So it was just sort of trying to overdo a role where, where something like I do enjoy, but it was just, like a bit forced upon at the start of the year. But it wasn't just like that muscle memory where people sort of come in, play their natural position, their natural game. And we sort of spoke about it and just, we thought that was where I looked more comfortable and how I felt more comfortable.
Willie's not closed the door on you playing at fullback again in the future, so what would you do differently if you end up being deployed there again at some point this year?
Probably come back a bit fitter, a bit more case in the legs. I think that was something different. Obviously, like the training's a bit different. You're sort of up and back in the centres, kick chasing the line. You get a bit of contact in defence, and that where in defence you're just sort of on the ball, sort of following around and everything, always on the ball, just running consistently. It was a bit different, and I think, so I think if that was something I could change and just, I just thought, because that's where I played younger, it'll just naturally happen. But, I think that'll be something I'd do differently if he ever said to me to go back there and, be ready. But, I know that'll be more trimming the body weight down and getting the Ks in the legs.
And how much has it helped you as well, having the weight of the kicking taken off your shoulders as well?
I don't think I'd put the kick in and that. It didn't really bother me in a game. I think it was more a prep for me. It was just something else taken on, and my right knee is I had surgery on it 2017, so it's always had a problem. And then so doing back the kick in sort of put a load on it. So I think that's why I think it might have been round 4. Like I was taking a week off or something. Like just sort of got my knee right, and then it sort of got to me that that's just another loading thing I had to take on my knee. And so I think just having that and just letting me sort of just focus on my game again, enjoying it. So it's been good for the body.
Are you still working on the kicking in training, or have you decided that it's better for your knee to just let it go completely?
Yeah, I think, because I was sort of trying to rehab it, overdo it, so I don't know if I've overworking my knee or something. But, since I've stopped it, I've felt more comfortable, less stress on the knee. So, it's been good. So I think Mikey and Jez are doing real good at the moment, so it's, nothing for us to stress about, I suppose.
Yeah, indeed. Mikey was magnificent with his kicking on Saturday. Looking ahead then, Warrington on Thursday, how are you feeling about going back to your former club?
I think obviously they've been an informed team. They've just been at the last start of the season. They've been awesome all around the park. Like you've got Paul Vaughan and that in the middle doing an outstanding job, and then you've got Dufty obviously running around the back just making it look easy. And then so I think that's probably something we have to do as a team. Like we can't go out and get Dufty on our own, try and solve it or something as a team we have to just try and stop. It's not just him, their whole team's in good form. So I think if we just turn up as a team, everyone doing our job, we should be all right.
What are your memories of your brief stint at Warrington? I think you're playing under former Rovers head coach Tony Smith at the time.
Yeah, I think for me, so I'd come off a knee reco. I sort of got back into, so I was going through that sort of part where you train and you weren't playing, so it was sort of losing the love for the game. And my time at Warrington, I think that's what brought back for me was the love for the game. Sort of enjoyed it again, and I got out there sort of when Tony Smith was there, he sort of just gave me a bit of free rein to let me do what I want. How I wanted to get the ball was he sort of just gave me that enjoyment back in footy. And I think that's one thing I take away from the club is the way they brought the game back to me. Obviously, coming from an injury like that, and then you're sort of just losing focus on why you play the game. That's what the club done for me, and yeah, grateful for that.
And how much has that brief spell in England helped you settle in second time around?
Yeah, it's been good. I think the start was a bit hard just with the family, kids, not in a routine. We didn't really have school, like the jet lag sort of took a toll on the kids, and then the shorter days, it was a bit overwhelming. But I think once we got into a routine with the kids and that, it come good. Like the club was good for it. Like sort of helped us with schools. We've got families around us that have kids, and then they all sort of got along. So I think just the first 2 weeks, and then being pre-season cold, it was a bit different for me on the body and everything. So, but I could say we're really enjoying our time at the moment. So yeah, it's been good.
When you look back to the last time you played Warrington, that very tight defeat at home back in March, where do you feel you need to improve on from that performance?
I think our start, that like I said before, our starts weren't the best, and I think that was one of the worst games we started. We let them get a hit on the scoreboard, and then we just felt like we were chasing points. But yeah, I think if we can sort of start well, and just maintain their middle, their back five. Obviously, they're good carriers out of their yardage, and if we can just sort of focus on that part of our footy, I think the rest will just fall into place.
And just finally from me, Peta, your final game before the Challenge Cup semi-final, how much you as a group trying to keep that out of your heads ahead of another massive game in Super League?
I forgot about it. Nah. I suppose it is a big one. Especially we played Wigan a couple of weeks ago, and then it was like the fans sort of just brought up, hopefully we could do that in another couple of weeks. But for us, it was like, we hope we can, but we've got another couple of games before that. So that was, I could see where everyone else, I think it's more like a fans thing. Like with us, we know we got to focus week in, week out. When we go too far ahead of ourselves, we miss the starter games. We miss turning up to a game and just being ready. So I think we've sort of focused that a fair bit on, just coming with the right attitude. Could be focusing on training tomorrow, not thinking too far ahead. So I think, we're getting better at focusing on our next job and week in, week out things. So I think that's one thing we've been working on.
Pleasure. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Cheers, mate.
Hi, Pat, you all right?
Yeah, hey, mate.
Just on the fact that you found it a little bit maybe difficult with the cold and the shorter days at the start of the season in the pre-season. Now that you're coming into sort of I think Saturday was probably like the first really good day of the year, it's heat-wise. So you've got that summer rugby coming in. That right edge is pretty lethal. Do you think see that'll continue to develop and you can kind of become like the elite right edge in the competition?
Obviously hasn't really been a goal for us to be the best. Like we want to be the best individually to help our team better, which is something. But we've never really spoke about something like that. But I suppose with the weather drying up, there's got to be a lot more footy being played, I think. And I think, with the way our team is, I think that'll be a strength for us. So hopefully this dry weather does help us out, and not just our right edge, but as a team. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how we do play in the summer footy.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised you mentioned that you sort of don't focus on it together, because that unit of you, Joe Burgess and Niall Evans just seems to be like so in sync. There's offloads every game and they're always connecting, and the support lines are it just seems so. And obviously for 3 new signings to the club as well, like, do you think the fact that you've all arrived at the same time and that has helped in that situation?
Not too much. I think it's just what we focus on as a club. We've always focused on the little things, and I think when you do the little things right at the start of the game, like I've always had a thing where you do the work early, score the points late, and I think if you just focus on that, not focus too much on the big things, scoring the big plays, doing the big plays, I just feel all that falls into place after because we've been around long enough to know that like the way the defence is set out, if they're really tight, how we want the ball, or if they're very wide, then play back under type things. So I think it's just, we've all sort of been around long enough to understand the game, and what defenders do is sort of dictate to how we want to play our footy.
And just on the fact that you've arrived this season, obviously I spoke to Willie Peters and mentioned about Sean Kane-Dowell leaving last season and Kane Lynette as well. There was like some big leaders. Have you sort of immersed yourself into the leadership group, you've got a lot of experience on either side in both competitions? Has that sort of been something you've taken upon yourself as well, or not?
Oh no, not really. I think for me it's just just having a little input. Reminding everyone how important the little things are. Like I know for us, like it could be as simple as like in the weekend, we were letting the edges sort of bounce back, and that's just from little things like keeping your feet under you, like just understanding all that little stuff. So I think, so if we just have our little inputs, like we've got enough players around here to sort of lead the way what we want to do. Everyone can talk, but I don't think we've got too many people that are big talkers in this team. So everyone just sort of has their little meetings, and we've just, So I think, just for myself, I haven't really taken it upon myself. I've just sort of tried to still be my own game, but just little feedback here and there. And I think that's, we've been taking our feedback very well. Not only me giving it, but taking it as well.